Okay, so a good evening, a good afternoon from wherever you are joining us from. Can we hear me clearly? I believe that we can hear me clearly. So I need a one in the chat if you can hear me clearly. I need to know that I am audible. So can we drop a one in the chat? So thank you, Valentine. It's so nice to have you again in our session. All right. So I want to officially welcome everyone to today's session. And today's session is going to be fantastic. All right. So I am Esther Gena-Brima. I'm a senior data associate at 10Alytics for the data science program. And you're going to be learning a lot today. Why? Because you are coming to see students showcase to you, present to you what they have learned over the time being. So it's not us, it's not Brima, it's not Damilola, it's not Adeza, it's not Efemina coming here to show you what they have learned or what they've done because of their years of experience. We are coming to bring to you what our students have been able to learn, and you're going to see how they've successfully acquired this knowledge and they are using it in the various industries that they work in. So across all of the different programs that we offer here at 10Alytics, we'll be having students come to showcase to you, come to present to you what they have learned. So I officially welcome everyone to today's session, and I can see the energy in the chat. That's amazing. But before we proceed, one last exercise for all of us. I want to know where you are joining us from. Are you in the UK? Are you in Nigeria? Are you in Kenya? Are you in Ghana? Or are you in Canada? So I can see interesting, see the energy. That's nice. That's very good. So I officially welcome everyone to today's session, and I want us to listen. In as much as we are coming to watch students showcase whatsoever they've done, I want us to jot things down from the way they present themselves, from the way they speak, from the way they communicate their insight. I want us to learn from them because that is why we are having this session. All right, so I can see Nigeria. Nigeria is taking over. All right. I can see Ghana. I can see Rwanda. I can see UK. I can see Iraq. That's good. So welcome everyone to today's session, and we'll be moving forward. All right. So just an overview of 10Alytics. So if you are just joining us for the first time, welcome. This is 10Alytics, and we are an educational technological company, and our mission, our goal, our sole purpose, why we exist, is to ensure that African, the Black community, are adequately represented in the tech industry. So yes, we are smart people. Yes, we can survive any scenario because of the way our society is built. But it is high time you now harness that wisdom, that smartness, and apply it in the tech industry. So we offer a variety of programs, from data analytics to business analysis to data engineering, data science, financial analytics, HR analytics, and the Power Platform program, right? So this is to ensure that, with ease of learning, you are able to acquire these skills across these various programs and then transition into the tech industry. All right, so now these are the founders of 10Alytics. So if you are just joining us for the first time, know this now. All right, so we have Adeza Suleiman and we have Efemina Ikpo. They have close to a decade experience deploying data techniques in deriving insights and in solving problems. All right, so you know that, they are detailed, they are thorough, and they are geared towards ensuring that you successfully acquire these various skills across all our training programs, and then you can effectively transition and represent the Black community in the tech space. So I can still see our responses in the chat. So I can see Gary from Rwanda. I can see, God's Power from Delta, Nigeria. I can see Ghana, a lot of Ghanaians and Nigeria. So welcome everyone to today's session. Sit back and you are going to be learning a lot. So moving forward, we have helped over 500 persons transition from their classroom to get from no prior knowledge to getting a job in the tech industry, because that's one question that we always get a lot, right? So I am from an economics background, I am from agriculture, I am from engineering, and I do not have any knowledge in computer science. Even during preschool, I did not attend any computer science class. That's perfectly okay. That's normal. All right, that is why we are here for you. We'll ensure and then we'll guide you through this process from you not knowing how to even put on your laptop to you being able to create amazing dashboards and then communicate your insights to whichever stakeholder or whoever is championing the business problem that you're working on. So you're going to be getting these slides at the end of the session, so do well to go through it. And as you can clearly see, we've been published across different articles and journals, both in Nigeria and across. So we are not just geared towards you learning these skills, but how can you deploy whatsoever you have learned outside of the classroom? How can you solve problems outside of the classroom? All right, so as I mentioned, you'll be getting this slide, and I want everyone on this call to go over it. So we will be jumping right into our project showcase. So for our students on the call, just use the raise hand icon so that I would call you one after the other, because the energy this evening is amazing. And I know that there are a lot of persons that are eager to see what you have, to see what you want to present. All right, so I will be taking us one after the other. And as I mentioned, for everyone just joining, if you do not have a prior knowledge, if you are fairly new in the tech space, do not feel overwhelmed. If they can do it, if they can learn, if they can be able to stand up in a call of and speak and present in a call of almost 200 persons, you too, you can do that. So I want us to sit back and learn. Take your notes. So whatsoever insights they'll be gathering, whatsoever processes, whatsoever projects they'll be showing you this evening, I want everyone on this call to learn from them. It is very, very important. Okay, so I will be starting with the first person. That is Adedayo Williams. So hi, Adedayo, a good evening or a good afternoon, depending on your time zone. How are you doing?
Hi, good evening. I'm fine.
Oh, it's nice
How
to
are you
have
today?
you join us. Yes, I'm very well. It's nice to have you join us this evening.
Yeah, great. Thank you. It's my
Okay,
pleasure to be here too.
that's amazing. So, the first question that I would ask you, which program are you registered for?
Okay. I registered for Power Platform Engineering,
Okay,
so cohort
yeah.
program.
Okay, so and how has your
That's
journey been
July.
so far?
Yeah, so it's actually surpassed my expectations because
Okay,
I have not been able to work on most of this app before now.
okay,
So virtually, I'm able to build one or two hard
yeah,
proficiency now, from
okay,
no knowledge to able to do and able to build a app around the business now as we speak.
okay. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. So I need a little bit of knowledge regarding your background. All right. So did you finish from computer science, or did you have like a data science or a data analytics undergraduate degree? Because that's one question that we've had consistently over past master classes or past interaction with enthusiasts that, oh, I'm really interested, but I don't really know if I can proceed or if I'll be able to do it. So let's have a little bit of your background.
Oh, okay. So I actually had the first degree in computer engineering, but
Okay.
however, I've never worked on Microsoft Suite before. So
Okay.
I'm more around the hardware side, the networking
Okay,
side of
okay, okay,
the system. So I've not been able to actually work on Microsoft Suite, not to talk of application building
okay,
around
yeah,
the Microsoft. So basically, that's it. So my knowledge has been around computer and also networking, but
okay,
I have prior knowledge of I can build a dashboard, I can build an app and all that. I don't have prior knowledge before now, but kudos to 10Alytics. So I've been able to build a couple of apps on my own in the course of the training. Yeah.
Okay.
So which I'm glad to be here.
Okay. So you have a project for us this evening that you want to showcase, right?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Okay, so you can go ahead to share your screen. You have the floor now. All right. So let me just stop sharing so you can proceed.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So let me share my screen now.
Okay, so we can see your screen clearly.
Oh, great. Awesome. So, first, I think I have a couple of projects, but I'm just going to be showing a few ones that I have built on my own.
Okay.
So basically, this is an expense application that I built in the course of my my training with 10Alytics. So I built quite a number of applications, but I'll just be walking us through this Power App application. So basically, this was built for Stellar Corps company, which the major problem that they are having is around expense. So they have quite a number of manual processes around the documentation of expenses for all their staffs. So basically, this was actually put in place to remediate such manual processes. So I have this built in such a way that staff can come in and put in their informations, then submit the expense. So let me just demo this quickly. So let me just put a dummy email as a staff of the company. So they can fill up this, put in the name. Then expense could be, let's say, travel. So this is a travel expense. So then I pick the date. So I can decide to pick today's date.
Let me just, I think I'll just mute. Okay, so let me ask, first of all, is it that there was a business problem or there was something that you were trying to solve, then you built this app to try to rectify that, and then employees of this company will just come here, fill in their details, and then get the corresponding outfit that they need?
Yes, basically. So there is a current trend where staff get to submit manually to the company manual submission of expenses that they acquired. So over time, so that make the manual process cumbersome. So there is no check and balances, and there is no automation around their processes. So and there is no transparency. There could be manipulations around the business expenses incurred.
Most
so
especially Nigerian. So go on.
yeah, so basically this application was built to actually address those documentation so that they can have it in one suite where they can actually key in, submit all their expenses incurred, then they get to see it as a single report in an app. So that was just the idea to put a proper documentation in place for staff. So I just filled this now, then I'm going to submit. So this gets submitted. So then I can go home or
Okay.
go back. So let me
Yes.
just go home. So this gets us back to the landing page. So I can actually view the report of what has been submitted so far.
Oh.
So various reports here. So
Yeah.
as you are clicking on it, you can see those submission by your left-hand side.
Yes.
So each of the
That's
staff
for
that have
each.
submitted, each staff
Okay. Okay.
that have
Okay.
submitted. So as you are clicking on it, so this was actually the last one we just did now.
Yes. Yes.
This is just the submission.
Okay. And
So
let me ask you, is it all the employees that have access to this submission, or is just specific to, let's say, the manager or you as the administrator?
basically, it's all employee. So once the Power App has been published, so everybody gets to have access to it, all employee. So
Oh,
they
okay.
get access to these applications. So
Okay.
once they submit the application, then that gets to the
Okay,
admin
it is
manager
documented. Okay, it is
that will be
documented.
taking care of
Oh,
the documentation. Yes.
interesting,
So
interesting.
yeah, let me just take us quickly to another one that I also built. So this is an expense form too that for another company called Smith Corps.
Okay.
Then Smith Corp too, they're having the same similar issues, but then they want it in such a way that once all staff they want a solution in such a way that all staff should be able to pick up a form, even the hybrid workers, they pick up a
Okay.
form. They feel that even people that work from home or from remote places, locations,
Okay.
so they pick up form, they fill. Let's just fill this form.
Okay, so while we are doing this, if you are just joining us, this is 10Alytics project showcase session. All right, so this is not a master class that will be teaching you. So we are having students come show you what they've been able to build from scratch. So you can clearly see that, oh, you too, you can do this on your own part. All right, so don't feel overwhelmed that, oh, I am lost, I'm just joining and they've gone so far. No. So this is for the Power Platform program. So you can clearly see Adedayo trying to solve a business problem. So the first one was about, okay, keeping records of whatsoever transaction or whatsoever was documented. And he had an app for that. So this is another project that he has created that he is walking us through. And before I proceed, let me ask, did you write 100 line of codes for this? Because I think that's one of the things we emphasize on the Power Platform program. So let me ask you, Adedayo, did you write 100 lines or blocks of code to achieve this result?
Honestly, it is low code. In fact, it doesn't even require any code to get this done. So it just
Okay.
requires logic. Then it's just in form of drag and drop, and you get it connected to each other. So there's no code around this at all. So it's just a business logic, if command and all that. So
Okay.
basically, it doesn't involve any code. So on
Okay.
this form now that I just filled, I'm trying to address the same issue, expense
Yeah.
issue with Smith Corp. So employee fill up this form and put in the expense amount incurred, and that gets submitted. So once they get submit this,
Yeah.
so I'm going to the manager's email.
Yes.
So the manager will get a notification that an expense has been submitted. So I'm still waiting for the
Oh,
mail.
okay.
So we automate it in such a way that once an expense is submitted with an amount, then the manager gets an email notification that such expense is submitted. So then the manager now decides whether to approve or to reject the expenses. So once the manager approves the expenses, then the staff that submit, the mail just came in now. This is the mail. So let me just open it. So as you can see, this is what I just submitted.
Yes,
this is the staff name, the employee name, the department, and the purpose, the information, and all that. So this we actually get to the manager's email. So manager now decide to approve or reject. Then if manager gets it approved, then the employee get notification that your request has been approved. Then the approval gets to the head of finance to disburse the money. So let me just approve. So let's see the scenario. So I'm submitting approval. Yes, as the manager now. So I just approved this. So as you can see, there's a notification to the finance department that the reimbursement amount is calculated, and there's a
so instead of going through the manual process of
submissions and all that, which is very cumbersome. So we try to automate the processes using Power Automate to automate all these processes, and there is no code, no single line of code. So then the person that the employee that submits gets the notification. So the employee get notification that your reimbursement has been approved, and then it is being
so instead of the manager sending a manual mail now back to the employee that, oh, I've reviewed your submission and your request.
Exactly. So this is well automated, and there's no single line of code. So I'm just going to show us lastly the Power Automate flow that actually built for this very solution. So basically, there's no single line of code. It's just drag and drop and logic around it. So let's try to refresh. Let's trying to refresh. I think my network is a bit lagging, but this should display anytime from now. So the essence, basically, the essence of this is to get employee employees submit their expense through a medium. Then the Power Automate pick it up and automate it and send mail to respective officers that is meant to approve or reject. Then send mail to the finance department that is meant to disburse if approved. So I'm going to run us through the Power Automate, what I did. This is the...
so before you proceed, let me just ask, what is the flow? What is flow, right? Because I feel some persons are really unclear as to what a flow is.
Oh, that's a good one. A Microsoft Flow is actually one of the applications that we actually use in as a Power Platform builder. So it's actually called a systematic way or arrangement where, or logic, how you want your application to actually run from point A to point B. What are the deliverables? What are the actions that is required to be done till the end process? So basically, that's actually the flow of this application.
Like the arrangement of the steps you want to follow.
Exactly. Exactly. So, and we have this solution under Power Automate. So Power Automate, this is what I just open. Power Automate is just a quick environment, which is also low code that you can just do drag and drop. And it is meant to automate all the processes from one point A to point B. What happens? What is your expectations? And basically, that is what Microsoft Power Automate does. So it's a low code. You don't need to code anything. So like, let me just walk us through this application workflow that I built. So this is the Microsoft form that is submitted. So it's just getting a response from the form. Once an action is taken, so it triggers it. So then this is what this is saying, is getting the form ID, then getting the response of what was submitted, what was filled from the form.
Okay.
Then there is an action whether to approve or to reject the content of the form. So this is just the logic. There's no programming yet. This is just the content of the form, the full name, the ID, department, all the content of the form is grabbing it at that point. Then that sends it to the conditional statement. So the conditional statement is now telling us the outcome of the form, because the manager has an option either to approve or to reject. So that's the outcome of the form. So if the form is approved, then that means the condition is yes.
Okay.
Then it's yes at this point. If it is approved, then it sends mail to the respective managers with these notifications, basically. So once it's approved, it sends mails to the finance team department for reimbursement.
Okay.
So these are the various email from the finance team. So all of them, they get a notification and the purpose and the content. Then at that point, trigger creation on the SharePoint list.
Yeah.
That is where we have our database, all the document. That is where it's resided. So at that point, create on the SharePoint list. Then the final notification goes to the staff that, A, your document has been approved or rejected.
Okay.
So basically, that's so this side that is speaking to yes, speak to the success outcome of the form that is submitted. So this, when it is no, there's a notification that goes to the staff that, sorry, this has been rejected and the reason will be spelled out. So I will show us lastly the SharePoint list where we have the database where it's stored.
Okay, that's where everything is collated.
Everything is stored, yes.
Yeah.
So basically, this is the last one that we did now. And this is actually the submission. So I think that will be all for now.
Okay, so thank you so much, Adedayo. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. So for everyone just coming, this is 10Alytics Project Showcase. And I can see some questions in the chat, right? For your Power Platform program, it is a low-code, no-code program. So you get to work on amazing applications. You get to build these different things. So you can clearly see what Adedayo presented, all right? So you can do this without writing multiple lines of code. You just have to understand the flow and then you'll be good to go. That's with the right guidance, all right? So one last question, Adedayo, what advice would you give to anyone interested in joining the Power Platform program?
Yeah, thanks so much, Baima. Basically, I want to counsel anyone that actually want to transition to tech and also want to build custom-made business related application without writing a single line of code, to embrace this course. This is actually awesome. So it's actually surpasses my expectations. When I entered with no knowledge. I don't even know how to go about it. I've not even worked on Power App before. I've not worked on Power Automate. I've not worked on any of the solutions that that is actually embedded in the Power Platform engineering. So you can see the various solutions that I have built. So if you want to build similar business related solution like this, I will employ anyone to join this course. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you so much for taking our time to join us this evening. Have a lovely evening. Thank you so much. So I can see a question, what program did he register for? So this is the Power Platform Engineering program. As I mentioned before, for everyone just joining, this is 10Alytics Project Showcase session. So across all of our programs, from business analysis to data analytics to data science to Power Platform Engineering to financial analytics to HR analytics, we'll be having students come showcase what they've done. And then you can see that, oh, it is clearly possible for you having no prior knowledge to transition into the different fields. All right, so we have the head of data operations here at 10Alytics, Oluwa Damilola Ajumobi, on the call. So hi, Damilola, how are you doing? Okay, you're muted.
Hi, Brahma. Thank you for having me. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. And of course, we're seeing a lot of questions, so just calm down, we'll explain everything soon enough. Okay, thank you.
All right, so thank you, Damilola. Okay, so we'll be calling the next student. So I think I was sending a lot of messages regarding that's from Oye Damola. That's when is the data analytics students coming up, when is the master class. So I'll be calling Yetunde Taiwo from the data analytics program. So hi, how are you doing? Can we see you, Yetunde? Hi, Yetunde. It's nice to have you join us again.
A pleasure. Good evening, Brahma. Good evening, Damilola.
Yeah, a good evening to you. So you have the floor. I know the energy is extremely I know you are ready to take over this evening. All right, so you can proceed to share your screen. So Yetunde is registered for the data analytics program, and she'll be having a walkthrough of one of the projects that she has worked on. All right, so you can proceed.
Okay, thank you. All right.
All right, so while we are waiting for Yetunde's screen, if you are just joining, this is 10Alytics Clarity, or rather, this is 10Alytics Project Showcase session. So I want you to be patient and then just watch, just learn from them. All of your questions will be answered. All right, so just calm down and we'll respond to all the questions that you have about how to go about this. How do I start? Where do I proceed from? So you can go ahead. Yetunde.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Yetunde Taiwo, and I joined 10Alytics, the May cohort, and this evening it's an opportunity for me to be able to present some of the things, just one of all the things I've learned, and I'm so happy that I'm doing this. So let's go on the ride together. Okay, so this is just my slide presentation. Then I will walk us through it, then be able to go through my Tableau. So as a data analyst with 10Alytics, we basically learned 4 major apps. We learned Excel. I thought I knew Excel, but when I got to 10Alytics, I realized I don't. So we learned Excel, we learned about SQL, Power BI, and Tableau. So today my presentation is just on Tableau. So one of the projects from Tableau. So I titled this Improved Learning Experience for Students Through Recreational Activities. Let me just confirm. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Okay, all right. So that's the title. So I'm just going to give us an overview of this project. And this project is from King's Guide, and King's Guide is an educational institution that strives to provide transformative learning experience for their students, ensuring that they reach their highest potential. So this presentation focuses on the significance of providing recreational activities for students and its impacts on students' academic and professional pursuits. So this is telling us, this is just an overview of King's Guide, that this particular school, they have a goal, and their goal is to see how they could focus on the providing recreational activities for students and the impact of these activities on the students' academic and professional pursuits. They want to find out, and not just finding out, they want to be able to see how they could improve and be able to achieve some of their goals. So in doing this, I'm going to be leveraging on patterns and behaviors observed during student leisure time, this recreational activity, okay? And the objective of this is, one, to identify meaningful patterns that is being provided by the school in the process of getting data about these students. Two, to enhance learning experience. And finally, to promote a class-leading educational environment. So this is what the school wants to achieve. And they want to see how far, what they could be able to achieve with the data that we get from the school. All right, for you to be able to do this, for you to be able to help the school to be able to achieve their goals, you have to, some skills are required. And these skills are skills that you are going to learn while doing your training with 10Alytics. And one is data manipulation and analysis. This is where you learn about cleaning the data, interpreting it. Then we have data visualization, dashboard design, because it's important that after you've gotten the data, which will be presented to you in a raw format, it's important you are able to create a dashboard that will look appealing for your clients to be able to see what you're doing, and that way it looks very interesting, which I'm going to be showing us. Then data storytelling, this is another skill that we learned in the course of the training, because you as a data analyst, you should be able to, when you have the raw data and you have your dashboard, you should be able to tell a story that your audience, your clients will be able to relate with in a simple way, and they'll be able to make informed decision. Then data optimization, after you've done all of this storytelling, dashboard design, what happens next? What's your recommendation? How do they capitalize on this information, patterns and behaviors that you've been able to see or observe? Okay, so at the end of this, having gotten the data, this is a dashboard I built. So this dashboard is King's Guide Student Leisure Activity Dashboard, and this is built with Tableau. Okay, so this is this is the end product of it all. Then here I have my link. So I'll just open this because this is hosted on Tableau Public. So this is a link, anyone can access it. So I'm just going to share the dashboard. So I'm going to be carrying us along on how we can use this dashboard to tell a story and help our clients or organizations to be able to make informed decisions. Okay, I'll just stop this and share the other one. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is my Tableau Public and this is my dashboard, and we're going to be working around this together. Now, for this particular activity that was being carried out, so it was, well, our focus was on 20 students. So that's why you have here total number of students. So we have 20 students. And from these 20 students, having observed these children, these students, we had to take record of what they are doing at each point in time. We're taking record of the activities, like maybe someone is taking all of that. So the total number of activities that was done by these 20 students is 1,578. That's where we have total activities. Now we have number of days, number of activities by time of the day. So for these 20 students, some of them, they have their activities in the morning, some have in the afternoon, some have this in the evening. And here we have number of activities by time of the day. Now, looking at this side, we have school performance category. Here, we have students that are average in terms of their academics. We have some of them that are excellent, and we have some of them that have good as their academic performance. Now, don't forget, the goal of this school is to see what they can get from this data. Having observed the student, having taken this data, what they could, from the pattern and behavior, how they are able to achieve the goal of enhancing the academics. So you as a data analyst, you have to have this at the back of your mind so that when you're working, it's going to be guiding you in how to see all of that. So their goal is to see how they can help the students improve even with these activities that they do. Okay, so that's here. Then we have activities by gender. So we have the male and the female gender. Now looking at this side, we have the male gender. For the male, they have a total of 580. And for the female, they did a total activities now of 998 activities. So we have 10 female and 10 male in this thing. Now, looking at the game category by student performance. Now, these students, we have some of them that did board games. We have some of them that did sports. We had some of the students that did video games. Now, I'll just click on board games. Now, from here, we're going to have the number of students that did board games. The number of activities for board games was 208. And out of this academic performance, don't forget, we have students that are excellent, we have good, we have average. Now, this is for good. This orange color is for the good. It's just like a way of making me to remember, or anyone to be able to relate. Now, we have the total number of students that are good students are just 4. These 4 students, they did 208 activities, and all of them, they participated in the afternoon. So, and they play Scrabble, and and this is the 4 of them. One of them will play his activities, number of students by number of activities. No, so one of them, this is for the 4 students, one of them plays just one activity. One of those is 24 activities. Another one had 119 activities, and another one had 142 activities. Okay, now this is what these good students they did. Now I'm going to use the same thing to look at our excellent students. Okay, so we said for the excellence we have okay, for the excellent students, it's here. We have 6 of them that are excellent students, and we're going to look at their activities and compare it with the students that are good, that they have academic performance to be good, not excellent. Now we're comparing the excellence with them. Now for the excellent students, we have 6 of them that are excellent students, and out of the excellent students, a total number of activities that they did was 346 activities in all. And when you look at this part of this, where we have game category by excellent students here, you're going to find out that, 120 of them play board games. 126 of those excellent students played sports, and number of activities, and 100 activities for repetition of activities for a few of them. Now, when you look at how frequent, how much of time they invest in these activities, you find out when you look at the number of students by number of activities, the level of detail given here, you find out that here we have 3 of them that plays just one activity here, and we have just 1 of them that gets engaged with, and that's the number of activities that it does is 312. Now, when we come, let's go back to the good students here. Okay, just a moment, please. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Now, when you look at the number of students that's at the good.
Hi, Yetunde, is there a problem?
Yeah, it's sorted now. Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
Now, when you look at the number of students that are good, we have a total number of 6 here. And these 6 students, they get involved with 294 activities. That's the total number of activities that they do. And when you look at the level of the detail here, you find out that each of these bites for those 6 students, here, 2 of them got involved with just one activity in a day. And they do this activity in the afternoon. We have another one that does 10 activities. And this student is also one of those that do in the afternoon. We have another that does one student that is doing 21 activities. We have another one student that is doing 119 activities. And we have another one student that is doing 142 activities from the good category of students. Now, when you look at that and you compare it with the activities that is being done by the excellent students, you find out that here we have 6 of the excellent students, 4 of them got involved with just one activity. Now, when you compare this with the kind of activities that the good students do, you find out that the good students, they got engaged with a lot of activities. They're always doing this, they're always doing that. Whereas those that are the excellent students, just 4 of them will do just one activity in a day and they're okay. One of them is doing 30 and most of them is doing 312. Okay, so I'm sure the one that is the one that is doing 312 must be very, very intelligent. Okay, and this is it. So it means that the good, okay, let me look at the average students here. So out of the 20, 8 of these students are average students, and these 8 students, the total number of activities they got involved is 938 activities compared to the 300 plus that the excellent students have. So you can see that the average students, they do more of these activities a lot. And when you looking at the type of activities they do here, you find out that most of these average students, the activities they do basically is Minecraft here. That's what they do. And when you look at the level of detail, this level of detail tells you what each of them do, how much of these activities they do. Adding them all together, they all have 938. So you want to see how these 8 of them, how often do they do, which of them got involved more, which of them is just one. So out of the 8 students, only one of them got do just one activity. There's another one of them that does 20. There's another that do 38. There's another that do 66. There's another that do 74, 138, 280, 321. Now, these 8 students, you can imagine the frequency at which they do their activities. So the school is interested in, okay, could it be that the frequency of these activities, is it affecting the students? Is it what is telling on their academic performance? Is it the time of the day that this student do this thing? Because the time of the day for each category of students also changes. We find out that most of these average students, you find out that most of them, they do their own activities in the evening and in the morning. When compared with the excellent student, you find out that the excellent student, most of them, they do theirs in the afternoon. So this is kind of helping you to make some informed decisions, like, okay, if the students that are the excellent students, they do their activities in the afternoon, and those of them that they are the average students and the good student, they do this in the evening, does it mean that for them to be able to have better academic performance, we need to move to the side of those that are doing excellent? So that way you'll be able to make a decision. You'll be able to help your school, Kingsgate School, to be able to make informed decision from the data that was gathered. And when you look at this average student, so you find out that their major activity is also Minecraft. Let's quickly look at the activity of the excellent students. Now, when you look at these excellent students, they do a lot of more football and Minecraft, then Scrabble and chess, compared to the average student that most of them, they work with the Minecraft. So that way, the school is beginning to think, okay, should we reduce the number of Minecraft? Should we scrap Minecraft? So with this dashboard, it will help the school to be able to say, okay, I think these activities are the ones that are helping the students. I think these activities are the ones that the students should not do. And when you look at the categories of this activity, you find out that board games is 120, Sport is 126, and video games is 100 for these excellent students. So that means most of them, they do board games and sports. Now let's look at the good students.
Okay.
Okay, for the good students, they also do board games, sports, and video games. Now let's look at the the average, sorry. You find out that this average students, they do little board games, then sports, then most of their activities is the video games. So that way the school is beginning to think, okay, the excellent students, what are the categories of games they get involved in? You find, okay, they do more of board games and sports games. Then you begin to reason, oh, could it be that when they do more of sports games and board games, they become more intelligent? Is this something we should promote in the school? Is this so? When you're looking at the category of activities they do, you're going to look at the time, the number of activities that they do in a day, the time of the day they do it. Is it in the morning? Is it in the afternoon? So all these patterns and behaviors that you see in these students from this dashboard helps the school to be able to make informed decision. You know, the school gave you raw data, so it is now your responsibility to see how you can make meaning from this raw data. So, and you're going to create a dashboard. So this is an example of a dashboard, and it is also your responsibility to be able to help them to see and make meaning from this dashboard. And apart from the category and the type of activities they do, we can also look at the trend of number of activities across the week. Now, when you look at the average students, you find out that many of them, they play on Wednesday, and just a few of them play on Thursday. Now, let's look at the excellent students. Most of them, they play on Thursday. Then you begin to think, oh, is Thursday the best time for this student to play? Is this a time that will make everybody to be effective? So all these are questions that will begin to come to your mind as a data analyst. And these are part of the skills that you learn in the course of the program. They'll help you to make a meaning out of your dashboard so that you'll be able to present it in a clear way to your clients or the organization that you're working with. Excuse me. So all of these are the things that help your clients to make informed decisions. So from the raw data, you can't really be able to get all of these things immediately, but all of this put together, they are just things from the data that was gotten from these 20 students. Oh, yesterday is playing in the morning. What is she doing? She's playing Minecraft. So that was the way it was recorded, and it will be given to you. Then you will be able to make a meaning from this from that data set. Then you will be able to give recommendations and help your clients to make informed decisions. Okay,
so Yetunde, thank you so much for this well-detailed analysis, right? So if I was to leave you, we'll spend hours going over this, drilling down. And there was one thing that you mentioned that I want to emphasize on, right? So you will be given raw data. It is your responsibility. It is now your job to go through that data, to analyze, to understand, and then provide insight, provide recommendations. So you can see how well detailed what Yetunde is doing, right? So you can see how she went through data cleaning, understood the data before she now created a dashboard to communicate the insight that she has gathered. So amazing, Yetunde. Thank you so much for taking out time to join us this evening. So one last question before you go. What recommendation would you want or would you have to give to anyone that's interested in joining the data analytics program, but they are scared?
Okay, the truth is, if I can do it, trust me, you can do it. Okay, yeah, I have an engineering background, but I've never practiced as an engineer. I've always been a teacher, okay? So now when I started thinking about IT, I wasn't really sure. I was like, which one should I go? I hear a lot of apps and all of that. But the good thing is, one of the programs, when they had one of their programs, I joined 10Alytics, and so that I can get clarity and know what is involved. And one of the things I was so scared of really was coding, because I was like, oh, I'm not sure I can do that coding, because I remember in my undergraduate days, 200 level, when we had to do one of those computer, and I see if then once you make a mistake, not putting a comma, the whole thing. So I got so frustrated, like, I don't think this is for me. And coming down to 10Alytics, it became, there was no coding. Sometimes, okay, like SQL is like coding, but it's just like I'm not coding, so I don't really understand that one, sha. But it was just super easy. So if you're thinking of coming in, I can tell you that this is a good place for you. This is the right place for you. So the way the program is structured in a way that even if you have no idea, you will be able to flow in. No pressure. Yes, there's always tasks, there's always things to push you, move you, but it's not like you're pressured, because the way we have some watch me videos that we watch before the main class, and it would have introduced you, like prepared your head for the class, it should have broken it down. So by the time you're in the class, you're able to flow easily, you're able to interact. So if you're thinking of, oh, can I do this? Know it, you can do this, and it's not difficult, because initially I was thinking it's something that will be difficult. It's not. It's broken, it is structured. So you, as you progress, this whole Tableau, it was, we learned it in 2 weeks. And I remember when I was learning Excel, I don't even know for how long, and I thought I knew it, but when I got in, I realized that I don't even know it, and I had better knowledge, structured program, and was able to even build dashboards with Excel, use Power Pivots, and it's really interesting, and it's well broken, and the facilitator is good. I always say it anywhere. Yes, the facilitators are good. The one that took me is very good. So it did so well for everybody, and I'm sure every other co-op, so you see them, they are awesome people. So rest assured, they can help you.
All right. So thank you so much, Yetunde, for joining us this evening. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your well-detailed analysis. All right. So Yetunde is registered for the data analytics program here at 10Alytics, and you can see that she has done amazingly well. All right. So moving forward, have a lovely evening.
Thank you.
Have a lovely evening.
Yeah.
Okay. So as I mentioned before, across all of our programs, we'll be having students come speak to you, come showcase what we have, what they've done, what they've learned in class. So we've heard from the Power Platform Engineering program, and then we've heard from data analytics. So yes, Alexander will be moving on to business analysis, and we have Eno Dan on the call. So hi Eno, a good evening from wherever you're joining us from. How are you this evening? You're muted if you're speaking, Eno. That's Eno Dan.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. So can we see you?
Oh, so sorry. I can't turn my camera now.
Okay. No problem.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll be speaking for the business analyst course.
Okay.
Okay, so let me share my screen.
You can proceed. All right. So while we're waiting for Eno, all of your questions will be answered. So just be patient, calm down, and listen into what the students have to show to you. We will do our possible best to provide answers to all of your questions. All right. So Eno, it's
Okay,
good
so
to go.
can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, so basically I'll be showcasing my project. But before that, I would like to highlight what the business analyst is all about, first of all. So as a business analyst, one of your responsibilities is to encompass like a range of tasks and to ensure that the task is successfully completed. That is successful implementation of a project, and you're also bridging the gap. Hello, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yes, we can hear you. I wanted to ask if you're able to turn on your camera so that we can spotlight you.
Sorry, I can't turn off my camera now.
All right, that's fine. Just go ahead.
Okay. All right, thank you. One of the roles of the the BA is to bridge the gap between business needs and technical business to bridge the gap between business needs and technical solutions, and also facilitate communication between stakeholders and help to deliver a system that works. So one of the projects we did was the Unilever, and the problem we were trying to solve was so Unilever had I'll give us like a background of the project, like an overview of the project, then I'll now explain the slides. So Unilever has like over 1,005 employees, and they have two canteens to cater to those employees. And each canteen can take 150 employee at a time. So it means both canteen can take 300 employee at a time. So one of the problem we had was, people coming in and, they have to wait and queue, and, it takes a lot of time and people are not being productive. Sometimes you get to, by the time you even get to order your food, and, sometimes the food is out of order and all of that. So we wanted to this is the challenge we had, and we wanted to find a solution to this problem to make the employee have like to have ease when they are trying to you know order their food. So let me go back to my slide. So this is a slide, and so first of the table of contents. I already said earlier on that the business analyst, as a business analyst, one of the job that you'll be doing will be commonplace. One of the roles of business analyst is requirement elicitation and documentation. So you'll be collaborating with business stakeholders, teams, management to gather and analyze requirements that will be needed for a project. And also after gathering these requirements, you are supposed to create like a detailed document which will include your use case, your user stories, process flow, and functional specification that will be needed to make this project successful. So I move on to my slide. So first off, we are able to identify all the impacted stakeholder for this project, which include the employee, the canteen manager, chef, menu manager, and so on and so forth. And so after identifying these key stakeholders, we want to know, we're able to do like build a stakeholder analysis matrix. We want to know how to prioritize our stakeholders. Who do we keep satisfied? Who do we keep informed? Who do we manage closely and keep on the side? So we're able to identify this. And next on, we move to so identifying the problem statements with the current process. There's already a current process for this project that we are trying to do. We are just trying to improve this current process to a future state. So this current process already has can only take 20% of the workforce at a time. Then we have issue of unavailability of sitting space, which results to employees spending more time waiting for vacant table. We have whereby employees don't always get their choice of meals because of cafeteria running out of certain items. And also we have issues of wastage, because what is not purchased in the canteen will have to be discarded and cannot be used the next day. So these are some of the problem statements we were able to identify. So with that, we now, the after identifying the problem statements, we now move to the objective of this new canteen audit system. We need to identify what we are trying to achieve. So now we have already identified that, oh, this is what we're trying to do. So what is the future state that we are trying to achieve? So now we want employees to have options of different meals, and we want a system whereby it will save like 50% of the time employees spend taking their lunch break, which will also increase productivity, because the new process will create like an alternative option for delivery of meals and to employees that, in addition to eating at the canteen. The new urging system enables employees to select their lunchtime lunchtime visit to the canteen within the hours available for a maximum period of 50 minutes. So let's move to the next one. So we developed a business case. The business case is carried out or done to convince senior management that, oh, this current state that we need to improve so that um, we need to improve so that we can improve productivity in the organization. So we prepared a business case to the stakeholders to we presented the business case. The business case comprises of, the summary, um, executive summary, the business problem, what we are trying to do, the goals. That is, we want to create a system that will allow employees to select their choice of food and choose delivery options, how they want their food to be delivered. Then also deliverables and benefits and values for this project, and also the human resource requirements, number of employees that will be needed, how we are going to be reducing costs, what are the risks associated with this project. So these are documents we prepare to stakeholders to take a look at. If so, the stakeholder now decide, oh, if we should carry on with this project or not. So this is like the business case that we have to do as a BA. Let me move to the next slide. And also, when you are doing a business case, you also list out recommended solutions, what you want to do. So the stakeholders are aware that, oh, this is after listing the cost, risks, require objective, and goals of this project. You're also supposed to give a recommended solution to the stakeholder, so they now decide if they want to carry out with the project or not. These are part of the business requirements documents that you're supposed to prepare as a BA. So also you'll be taught the reference matrix, you'll be taught the reference matrix, and you want to know who should be responsible for this project, who should be accountable, who should be consulted, who should be informed. These are things you will learn when you go through the business analyst class. Also, so now earlier when I started, I said the business analysts bridge the gap between the business needs and the technical needs. So now that you have done this process, you're supposed to now like list down the main features that will be needed to develop this new system. From this project, we realized or discovered that we'll be needing a front end and a back end. Front end in the sense that employee login credential page, the availability of daily menu with prices, the time countdown, and some other history, feedback, menu bar. For the back end, we have canteen and payroll employees login credential details. These are just technical requirements which will be needed. That is which the developers will be needing to when they want to build this application. Now let's go to the process flow. So this process flow is like a guide that will guide you step by step on how these projects will be carried out. It gives like a clearer picture of where you are going, where you are coming from, and where you are going. So the as is process is where you are, your current state. Then we have the to be process. That is where the future state where you want that project to be. So the process flow is like, this is a swim lane process flow. It will give you a step by step. So at each point of the project, you know where you are currently. So it will be like a guide that will guide you. Oh, this is where we are. This is where we are going. And across team, everybody understands and know that, oh, this is where we are and this is where we want to go to, that the future state of this project. Okay, so then after all of this, we'll be able to translate. Also, you learn how to translate requirements into user stories. So you learn how to draft your user stories in such a way that your team will be able to understand what you're trying to do and what you're trying to build. Your user story will be in a precise way such that your engineering team will be able to understand and pick what you're trying to do. So these are the user stories for this project that we did. Let me not pause it. So these are the user stories you see. We did user
All right.
stories for employee, we did for admin, and we also did for other people that will be needing the system. So one of the project management tool that we use for this project is the Jira. Um, during this during the business analyst class, you'll be taught on how to use Jira, Trello. This is a project management tool in which
Okay.
team collaborates to make this project successful. So this is the project management tool we use in communicating as a team.
Right.
So okay, I think that will be all. So this is how we communicated our backlog, what we've been doing so far, and yeah.
All right. So thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
I love the emoji. Amazing presentation. So one thing that I just want to mention, all of this that you've detailed in 31 slides, right? Did you have like a prior knowledge of this, or you learned it from scratch in class?
So I had like a prior knowledge of this before now, but I didn't
Okay.
know like I just had like when you just have an idea of something but you don't know how
Yes.
to go about it. So I
Yes.
had like
Yes.
a knowledge that, oh, we are supposed to have it, but I didn't know how to go about it. So when I came to
Yes.
10Alytics, I was able to learn more about it, and now I can boldly say I can prepare this document myself. Yeah, so
Amazing, amazing, amazing. So one last one. What advice would you have for somebody looking to transition into the business analysis program, but then will I say they are unsure that they can do it? So what would you recommend for them? Yes,
okay, so someone transitioning to, I'll speak for BA because I'm a business analyst. So
yes,
anyone looking to transition into a business analyst should, business analyst is a very interesting, it's a very, very interesting field. You are going to enjoy it. Um, and just be determined, and you will learn a lot from this course, and you'll be able to you meet the good thing about this project is this business analyst, you get to network with people, a wide range of people across the world. Let me use the word. You meet people not just outside your range, so you'll be able to network with people. You build network because you have a range of projects you'll be working on. So it's not as if you have like a particular thing. Like when I did my course, I was able to work. We had different projects, so for each project, my team members were different. So I had like a range of different people I had to work with, and from there you learn from different people, and also they will also learn from you. So just be open-minded, and you learn a lot from this.
yes, yes. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Eno, for joining us on the call this evening. Thank you for giving us a well-detailed analysis All right. So have a lovely evening. Have a lovely
Yeah.
evening.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, as I mentioned before, across all of our programs, we'll be having participants come show you what they have done so you can clearly believe that, yes, it is possible for me to go through this training program and acquire this skill and successfully transition. All right. So, at this juncture, I'll be handing over to the head of operations. So, hi, Damilola.
Hi, Brima. Hello,
Yeah.
everyone. It's me
Hello.
again. Thank you very much, Brima, for that. So I'm going to be answering a lot of questions that I have going on in the chat now. Okay, so people are saying between this and this, which one should I go for? What is this program, this and that? Basically, I'm going to be giving answers to all those questions in a couple of minutes. But before I get started, I have about 181 people on the call, and so let's do a quick thing. I want you to tell me which of these programs you want me to talk about first. So I have business analysis, I have data analytics, financial analytics, HR analytics, full stack data science, data engineering, and power platform engineer. So which one do you want me to talk about first? I'm going to pick the one with the highest number. Okay, so I'm saying data analysis, BA, HR, data analysis, another BA, HR, data analysis. Okay, let's keep it going. Which one do you want to talk about first? Data analysis, BA, HR. Okay. Data analysis first then, because I'm seeing a lot of data analysis. Thank you, everyone. So let's keep it going, but I'm going to start with data analysis because that's the one with the highest. Okay, so let's see. First of all, one thing that we take note of at 10Alytics is the key reasons for selection. Okay, so one thing we take note of is that we are very keen on the kinds of programs that we offer. We want to make sure that every single one of these programs that we have compiled are programs that will lead you or help you eventually achieve your career goals. They're not just anyhow programs that we've just seen somewhere and we've just said, okay, let's put together this thing and just put it out there. No, they were carefully selected. And the key things that we considered when we were selecting this program includes one, ease of learning. These are not programs that will give you a headache. These are not programs that you would have to spend 1 year learning before you eventually land a job or even understand it or what have you. Ease of learning, you can learn from the comfort of your home. You can learn at your own pace, following other people and also following a very learned tutor, a professional in their field. You can easily grasp things in class. You've heard our students talk about how they did not have prior knowledge of what they are now able to present. So we have number one, ease of learning. Number two, ease of transitioning. Literally anybody can, can transition from whatever they have going on now to every of these programs that we have compiled together. We have stories of people. There's a particular lady that I know of. She used to be a baker and then she joined 10Alytics and now she works as a data analyst. Look at that long line. Look at the difference from being a baker to a data analyst, okay, in the UK. All right. So ease of transitioning and the fact that you are able to get a job at the same time with any of these career paths that we have. Number three, we have high and rewarding salaries. They are not just career paths that you just spend months learning, and then you're earning the same salary that you've been earning before. These are paths that are able to help you increase your earning capacity and your earning rate. So number one, ease of learning. Number two, ease of transitioning and getting a job. Number three, high and rewarding salaries. So again, checking through, okay, sorry about that. Okay, all right, so looking through the charts again, I can see a lot of data analysis. I'm just going to start with data analysis. Okay.
Yes, so data.
I'm going to start with data analysis. So when we are speaking of data analysts, we are talking about the person who is basically in charge of analyzing and interpreting data. Now, the word in a second produces millions of data. We have data everywhere. What we have going on right now can be compiled into a data or into data, right? So we have data everywhere. But how exactly are people making use of this data? How are they taking advantage of this data? This is where a data analyst comes into play. You help companies, industries, sectors, the government interpret and make sense of their data to be able to make good insights, generate insights, and make good decisions. And the funniest part of it is that there is no particular place in this world that a data analyst cannot work. Talk about the political sector, talk about education, talk about oil and gas, talk about engineering, talk about tech itself, and so on and so forth. There's no place that a data analyst cannot work. All right. And basically, what a data analyst does is to help people make sense of their data. Now, companies are just packing data together. They are generating data. They are not making sense of this data. They are not even using it. They are not taking advantage of it. It's just there. And this is where a data analyst comes in to help them make sense of their data, to ensure that the data that these companies are generating, they are putting it to good use, helping them generate more income, make them more well-known, and so on and so forth. So as a data analyst, you are in charge of analyzing and interpreting data to generate insights and to support data-driven decision-making. It's like, say, for example, there's a company, they're trying to like venture into a particular space. If you are a data analyst in that company, what you do is to do a research on that space that they're trying to venture into. You do a research, you collect your data, you analyze the data, and then you go ahead to tell the company if they should actually venture into that space or they should back off because it's a deadly space. Okay, so that's just one of the many things that a data analyst does. Now, in 10Alytics, the key areas that we are very particular about when it comes to learning the data analytics program or taking the data analytics program includes: one, problem solving. As a data analyst, your major role is to solve problems using data. There's no other thing about it. You're going to be solving problems using data. If there's a problem in a company, you go into it. Obviously, the company would have collected data sets for that particular area of the company. Then you go into the data sets, you try to use the data sets that they have to solve the problems that are on ground. So you're going to be solving a lot of problems. One thing that a data analyst needs to know how to do is to solve problems. If you're not solving problems, you're not really doing much, right? So you're using data to solve problems for the company, and that's what we're going to be learning in the problem solving class, right? So you have problem solving, you have Microsoft Excel. You've had people say, if I say now that what is your on a scale of 1 to 10, rate yourself, your Excel skills on a scale of 1 to 10. If I say, okay, how well do you know how to use Excel on a scale of 1 to 10? Can you rate yourself? You can put it in the chat. On a scale of 1 to 10, how good are you with Excel, Microsoft Excel? 2. Okay, 1, 5, 8. Jeff, okay. Godwin, 4, 1, 6, 0. Okay, 3. Chukanai, okay. 6, 4. Now, we've had people come into master classes and say, oh, I'm on a 10. Oh, I'm very good with Excel. There's nothing I can't do with Excel. And we eventually get to the class and they come back to say, oh, wow, I thought I knew Excel, but I actually do not know Excel. Wow, thank you. So in the Excel class, we're going to be learning everything that has to do with functions and formulas. We're going to be learning dashboarding, pivot table, formulas that you'll be using on a day-to-day that makes you work faster in Excel. So we're going to be learning Excel, then structured query language. That is what we call SQL, structured query language. This is where you're going to learn how to query databases using SQL. SQL is a language, right? A querying language that basically like a programming language, but it's not really like coding. Okay, so it also helps you to query databases where you can draw out the data that you need for a particular kind of analysis. Then we have Power BI. We're going to be learning DAX functions and formulas. These are data analysis expressions. You're going to be learning how to build interactive dashboards in Excel. Then you're going to be moving to Tableau, where you're going to be learning how to tell stories using Tableau, just like Yemisi showed us earlier. You're going to be learning how to build interactive dashboards. You can see the way she was explaining it, filtering, interacting, slicing, using a dashboard and all of those things. You're going to be learning that as well. You're going to be learning data storytelling. Obviously, as a data analyst, you're going to be telling stories with your data, right? So that's another thing you're going to be learning. Then you're going to be learning ChatGPT for analytics. This is integrating AI into analytics. If you've ever attended any of our classes, our master classes, you'd have seen Adisa or Ifemina showing how to use ChatGPT to analyze data. Now, some people will say, oh, AI is going to take my job, this and that. No, AI is not coming to take your job. ChatGPT is not coming to take your job. It is only coming to enhance your job, but that is if you learn the skills that it will not be able to take over. Okay, so ChatGPT for analytics and also Microsoft Fabric for analytics. These are the things that you're going to be learning in the data analytics program. Now, what is the average salary of a data analyst, entry-level data analyst in the United Kingdom? That is £40,000, and that's on the average. All right, so we have people doing 60, we have people doing 75, depends on how you can bargain and negotiate. Okay, in Canada we have 64,000 Canadian dollars. In the United States we have 72,000 US dollars. All right, and you can in just 4 months you can become a data analyst. Okay, so if you see people telling you that I need to take a year to learn this and that, just tell them to perish that idea, tell them to perish it, because in 4 months, you can become a data analyst. We've seen students that in just 2 months of getting started, they've gotten full-time jobs as data analysts. Okay, so if somebody comes to you and say, oh, okay, this thing you can't learn anything, blah, 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 you have to take 3 months, you have to take 1 year. No, you can become a data analyst in 4 months. You have 3 months of learning, 3 months of intensive live classes where you're going to be coming to class to learn from professionals. You're going to be doing case studies. You're going to be working with real life case studies. It's going to be like learning on the job. Okay, then you have 1 month of internship. This is one added value that we give to our students, so that you're able to put this internship on your profile, your portfolio, your CV. Tell them that, oh, I used to work as a data analyst, so I worked on this project and that, and so on and so forth. So in 4 months, yes, you can become a data analyst, and these are the things that we're going to be taking you through in the data analytics program. Yes, per annum. Yes, the salaries are per annum. All right, so that is for the data analytics program. The second one I'm going to be explaining is the business analysis program. The business analysis program. Now, Eno has given us an overview of what they would usually learn in class. Now, who is the business analyst? You're like the bridge. There's the north road, there's the south road. You are the one in the middle, the bridge leading to the north and the south, that kind of thing, like Third Mainland Bridge, if you know the Third Mainland Bridge. Okay, so you're like the bridge between the business stakeholders and the developers team, the technical team. You are a tech person, but you're not coding as a business analyst, you're not going to be coding at all. It's not even heard of, okay? So you're going to be like the person, the intermediary between the stakeholders. That's like the CEO, the the business owners, and so on and so forth, and the developers, the tech team, the full stack developers, the backend people, and so on. They do all the coding, all of those things. As a business analyst, you're not concerned about that. What you're doing is acting as the bridge, okay? So you're ensuring that effective communications is passed between the stakeholders and the developers, and also that the business requirements are met. What are the key learning areas of a business analyst? Number one, we have Excel, Power BI, and SQL. Now, if you go to other places, in other different places, right? So if you go through their business analysis program, you would usually not see Excel, Power BI, and SQL. But we at 10Alytics have incorporated this into our program so that you are able to stand out. It gives you an edge, makes you more well-rounded, well-packaged, so that if you go somewhere, you apply for the job of business analyst, and they tell you, okay, can you analyze data in Excel? Yes, these are the projects that I've worked on, and so on and so forth. It gives you bragging rights. This is why we've added this Excel, Power BI, and SQL, these analytics tools, to the business analyst toolkits at 10Alytics. So you're going to be learning how to build interactive dashboards and in Excel, formulas and functions as well. You're going to be learning Power BI, how to also interact with data in SQL and in Power BI. Then you move to process mapping, where you're going to be learning how to map out different processes that the company has to go through to meet their requirements. Then project initiation planning, you're going to be in charge of, you're going to be learning how to plan projects in a way that it matches the objectives of the company, of the business. You're going to be learning Agile and Scrum for projects. You're going to be learning software development life cycle, how to the process of is building a software from start to finish, software development life cycle. You're going to be learning requirements fundamentals, elicitation, stakeholders analysis, and engagement. Listen, it's not, yes, everybody can talk and convince someone, but it takes special skills to be able to talk to someone and ensure that they're able to carry out the things that you have talked about. So this is where learning stakeholder analysis and engagement comes into play. Okay, now what is the average salary of a business analyst in the United Kingdom? That is £52,500 per annum. Okay, in Canada we have 74,000 Canadian dollars per annum, and in the United States we have 85,000 United States dollars per annum. Okay, now you can become a business analyst in 3 months. Just like I said, for the data analytics program, you don't have to use a year or 2 years or what have you. Once you start learning, you start earning. Okay, once you start learning, you start earning. You can become a business analyst in 3 months. You can learn, you'll be learning for 2 months, intensive learning for 2 months. That's about 14 weeks, 8 weeks, then 1 month of internship. Okay, this is what the business analysis program is about. You're going to be making use of different tools, learning tools like Excel, like I said earlier, Power BI, SQL. You're going to be learning how to collaborate on Slack. You're going to be learning the Jira software, Draw.io, Trello, Microsoft Visio, and so on and so forth. There's a lot that you're going to be learning in the business analysis program, but this is an overview of everything. So that's for the business analysis program. The next one I'm going to be talking about is the, let's see, the Power Platform Engineer. Okay, the Power Platform Engineer. Now, this is one very, very interesting program. Number one, it requires no coding, no maths, and no statistics. Okay, this is a program where you're going to be learning how to build websites, how to build softwares without coding. Do you know how interesting that is. People don't talk about it enough, but Power Platform Engineering is actually one of the programs out there that is becoming hot cake. You know how you need to jump on something before it becomes too popular and everybody is just in it. That's Power Platform Engineering. Okay, you're building websites, you're building software without learning CSS, HTML, HPP, TP, HTTPS, all of those things. You don't need it. Why? Why? Because we have the Power Platform Engineering to cover for that. So the Power Platform Engineer is responsible for developing and implementing solutions using the Microsoft Power Platform. You're going to be working mainly with the Microsoft Power Platform, and this includes Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI, virtual agents, SharePoint, and so on and so forth. Now, the key learning areas for the Power Platform Engineering program includes Introduction to Power Platform. You need to get thorough introductions to the program, what it entails. Sorry, if you are not speaking, okay, thank you. So what it entails and so on and so forth. Then we move to Microsoft Power BI, where you're going to be working, learning the developer side of Power BI. Now there's analytics side of Power BI and there's developer side of Power BI. And this is going to be learning both. The analytics part, how to interact with data as a Power Platform engineer, and the developer side, okay? Then you're going to be learning structured query language as well, SQL, in the Power BI, in Power Platform Engineering program. You're going to be learning Microsoft Power Automate, using Power Apps. Everything is power to the people. Power Virtual Agents, Power Pages, and also working on building your case and creating actions. These are the things that you're going to be learning in the Power Platform Engineering program. Now, what is the average salary of a Power Platform engineer in the UK? That is £45,000. £1,000. I repeat, 1,000 again. For Canada, it is 72,000 Canadian dollars. For United States, it is 110,000 United States dollars. And you can become a Power Platform engineer in 3 months. Okay, in 3 months, you can achieve your dream of becoming a Power Platform engineer. That is 2 months of learning, 2 months of intensive learning on weekends, then 1 month of internship. 1 month of internship. Okay, that's for the Power Platform Engineering program. Like I said earlier, this is one program that is not is very popular, all right, but a lot of people are not jumping on it. So if you're here today and you want to build apps, you want to work with everything Power Platform, Power Apps, Power Automate, you want to develop and implement solutions for your company, or that's what you want to do as a consultant and so on and so forth, then you need to opt on the Power Platform Engineer program. Now, before we take the other people that we have in our midst that are here to talk about their program, I'm going to explain the financial analytics program. The financial analytics program. Now, one myth, or is it myth? Or I'm very sure how to pronounce. Okay, so one myth that I would like to break, one table that I would like to break right now is where people say for the financial analytics program you have to be an accountant. No, you do not. Okay, so you don't have to be you don't have to be an accountant to take the financial analytics program. Okay, we have somebody who studied engineering in school. They studied engineering and they took the financial analytics program, and now they are working as a financial analyst. All right, so a financial analyst plays a critical role in analyzing financial data and providing insights. You're going to be analyzing financial data, and there are people that work for companies like the banks. They work for the banks, they work for Dangote, they work for Bank of America, and so on and so forth. So these are the different places that a financial analyst can work. You're busy analyzing financial data and using that data to make strategic decisions. Now, for the financial analytics program, there is also no coding at all. You're not going to be coding at all. But what are the key learning areas? You have problem solving. I'm going to be using your skills as a financial analyst to solve problems in the financial world. You're going to be learning Excel as well, where you're learning stuff like functions and formulas, building interactive dashboards in Excel, working with pivot table, working with static and dynamic dashboards. Of course, you're going to be learning Power BI as well, talking about learning data analysis expressions. You're going to be working with SQL. This is very rare for you to see where they would be teaching a financial analyst SQL, but that is one thing that we do at 10Alytics. We want to ensure that you are well-rounded in whatever area, of course, that you're taking, or whatever program you're taking. Then we move to accounting fundamentals. That's where you learn, like I said earlier, you don't have to be an accountant. You don't have to have studied accounting before taking the financial analytics program. Okay, you're going to learn accounting fundamentals, where basically everything that has been taught in school and all of that is taught again in class. You're going to be learning financial analysis, how to analyze financial data. You're going to be learning financial modeling. Learning financial modeling enough is even enough to, like, if you want to work, if you want to be a standalone person, you don't want to work under any other person, building financial models will bring money. I'm not talking about small now, money to your account. Okay, so there's a student, she used to be a student. Before they finished their financial modeling class, their financial analytics class, she was already building financial models for people, and she was charging for one financial model, she was charging 200. That was before fuel became 600. Well, how much is it now, right? So you probably just want to guess how much she's charging now. So you don't necessarily have to be, and she didn't study accounting. That's even the most interesting part of it. So for financial modeling, you're going to learn how to build financial models for different companies using different case scenarios. You're going to be learning valuation, and you're going to be learning sensitivity and scenario analysis. Now, in the United Kingdom, the average salary of a financial analyst is £51,000. Okay, in Canada, it is 69,000 Canadian dollars, and in US, it is 74,000 United States dollars. Now, you can become a financial analyst in 4 months. It does not take forever to become a financial analyst. Give us 4 months, and you are going to see the changes that would have entered your career. Okay, so that's 3 months of learning and 1 month of internship. 3 months of intense learning and 1 month of internship. In this internship phase, you're going to be working with different case scenarios. You're going to be working with real life case scenarios where they will tell you to, okay, act as a financial analyst and, you know, build a financial model for this company and so on and so forth. And that is where you begin to step into your interesting, you know, career path. So that is for financial analytics. After our other students have spoken, I'm going to explain the data science program, HR analytics program, and of course the data engineering program. So Brahma, if we would be bringing up the other students right now, and so you can just speak very quickly, and then we can talk about the other programs.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Damilola. All right, so if you still have questions, kindly be patient. We are going to take all of them. And as I mentioned before, across all of our programs, we are having participants come show you, come talk to you what they've been able to do. So now I will be taking Emmanuel Addy. That's Emmanuel Addy from the Financial Analytics program. So hi, Emmanuel. How are you doing this evening?
Yeah, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. So can we see you?
Okay.
Yes, we can see you clearly.
Yes. Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, good evening to you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, you're welcome. You're welcome. So do you have a project that you are showing us this evening?
Okay, for want of time, I may not want to take much of our time, so let me just share my screen and see a few things.
Okay.
You have spoken a
Yes,
lot
yes.
concerning the program already, so
Yes.
I may not be saying too much now. Can you see my screen?
Not yet. Okay, yes, it's coming up now.
Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so of the July cohort, financial analytics, there's been a
Yes.
great learning experience with 10Alytics actually. I have an engineering background, although I have some experience in the microfinance space. I came into 10Alytics with a lot of high hopes, and I would say every minute and every naira was worth it. I'm not through with the program, but I've gotten overvalued for my money already, and it's been a great experience. Before now, I've never built a dashboard in my life. I've never. I thought I knew Excel, but when I came to 10Alytics, I discovered I was in probably minus 50 or something.
Yeah.
I got a good foundation with analytics. So I would just go for it. We had done some projects on an Excel, but I just couldn't open the files. But this project specifically is on Power BI. Is a sales performance of 10Alytics actually over the 50 states in the United States. So a lot has gone into this. This is showing sales performance by category, by product, by region, and the trend of sales from January to December. Basically, like I said, for want of time, I may not say much concerning that. And for those planning to join the program, I would say it's worth it. You don't need to be an accountant to be part of this program. Like I said, I've gone past this point. I'm already building financial models myself, and it's interesting. This is a model a financial model we're already working on. This is a 5-year financial model for a shoe manufacturing company. I never dreamt I could build anything like this. In fact, joining 10Alytics for me is the best decision I took in 2023. And it's interesting to see that I'm gradually on my path to becoming a global financial analyst. I'm confident that by the time my program is through, my level of confidence should have grown tremendously.
Okay, and let me confirm again that you joined or you are registered for the July cohort.
Yes, I'm in the July cohort.
Amazing,
yes.
Amazing.
I have like 3 weeks to finish my program. And like I said, it's been very wonderful. The facilitators are just, I can't explain. They are fantastic. You understand? They'll hold your hand, take you through. Sometimes I send messages late in the night and promptly they are responding to you, holding your hand through, answering your questions, your pain points, they're dealing with them. And it's been a fantastic experience. I encourage everyone on this call, especially those of us that have interest in building, like our facilitator was saying, I've been in the finance space for a while, working with in the microfinance space, but I've never appreciated financial data the way I've appreciated it in the last few weeks. It's been highly insightful. Now, data means something basically different for me. My approach to data, what I see, the numbers make sense. It's not just about the numbers, but I'm seeing that you could take business decisions and improve businesses, give insightful recommendations to management, be able to take decisions that will change organizations around. These things are practical. Analytics is not a theoretical class, it's highly practical. So thank you very much for having me. Like I said, for want of time, I may not be able to go through all that we have done. I know we've spent a lot of time, but it's been wonderful. And thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So somebody's asking where you are joining us from. Where exactly are you joining us from?
I'm from Nigeria. In fact, from Nigeria, Niger State in Nigeria.
Wow, that's interesting. So you can see the diversity that we have in class. All right. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. And
thank you so much.
Your final words to anyone interested in joining, but then again, you're thinking if it might be too much for them to conquer. All right.
In fact, like I said, every minute and every naira is worth it. If I stop my program in analytics now, I've gotten overvalue. If I stop now, if after today I say I've stopped, I've gotten overvalue for what I pay for every second. And there are resource materials you could keep referring to on and on and on. And it has changed my workspace where I'm working. It has changed my workspace, like I said, and the value is unimaginable. Those of you that are wondering whether we should join or not, it's an investment. You're investing for tomorrow. That future you want to see in the future, this is the time to invest in it. And I believe that analytics is that platform for transitioning. I never thought I would do the things I'm doing right now. I never thought. When I entered this year, if you had told me that I could have this level of traction in upskilling, I would have doubted. But I discovered that even as a professional, my confidence level has so much increased. My perception for the future is wider, is broader, is brighter. I'm seeing the possibilities of becoming several things already. And for me, if you ask me for 2023, this is the best decision professionally that I've taken. And you won't regret it. Each of the programs are exciting. For those of us that are interested in building financial models, like I said, it's exciting. I'm already enjoying myself. And I know I'm already working on my capstone project already. Although I've not even finished the program, but I have ideas of what to do. I started working on it and it's interesting. It's highly engaging.
Yes. All right. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for joining us this evening. So Emmanuel is currently registered for the financial analytics program. So thank you for your words of advice and have a lovely evening.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. You're welcome. All right. So moving forward, we'll be taking the next student. That's Rashid Oloyede. So hi, Rashid. Hello, Rashid. Can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you. Hi, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening.
Morning, good afternoon, wherever we're joining.
So can we see
how are you guys doing?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, I'll first have to plead, if you're going to be hearing my toddler's voice. I don't have a choice, so you are going to bear with me. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate. I'm Oloyede Rashid. I'm in the data engineering cohort. That's the July cohort. Well, yeah, let me just go straight to the point here. I'm just going to be picking one of everything that we know in data engineering, just for the purpose of this class, for the purpose of this presentation, which is version control. Yeah, version control basically is what we use to. First, let me just speak on what data engineering is briefly. Data engineering is basically we are basically the backbone of every data, whether it's financial analytics, HR, blah blah blah, that we've been hearing since morning, blah blah. Without a data engineer, they can't exist. Without data, they can't exist. I get it. So basically, we are the owner of data. We find data, we get data, we manipulate data, we store data, we we do everything with data basically, and we also we make that data readily available for data scientists and data analysts. We get, and we are also responsible for building the tools that is used for all those purposes. There are several tools we use for all of that. So basically, we make use of Python, SQL, several other tools. But basically, for what we are doing now, I'm going to be talking about version control. Version control is basically a way we use to keep track of everything we do, projects we embark on as data engineers and in an organization for proper historical for keeping proper historical how do I put it, historical design or historical the way as we work with our projects and everything, keeping proper managing and keeping proper keeping proper historical track of, yes, let me put it that way, keeping proper historical track of everything we do as data engineer in the organization in such a way that if someone else coming from maybe if you bring in someone from someone else from any other department to look at what's been going on, you can keep track of everything that is going on, keep track of versions of every app you develop. Let's say versions of ETLs that you develop. ETL means extraction, transformation, and load is a way of dealing with data. So basically, version control here, you are going to be focusing on JIT. JIT is a version control platform by GitHub. I don't know if you are familiar with GitHub, we might not be familiar with it. So GitHub is basically a repository where we can launch where we can showcase our projects, showcase our code, showcase different things that we have done. That's on GitHub. So version control here is how we keep track of everything on that platform. Okay, so basically, so let me share my screen to show you the projects quickly. I'll quickly run through. Let me share my screen quickly. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Quickly, this is the project. Anyways, it's a business project. Data warehouse modeling. Data warehouse modeling is a way of is a type of data storage system. Data warehouse basically is a type of data storage system. We have databases, we have data warehouses, we have data lakes, we have delta lakes, we have several kinds of storage systems like that. But data warehouse basically, and in data warehouse we have different kinds of way we model data for data warehouse. In database is basically used to store day-to-day data for an organization. Let's say in an e-commerce company now, you have a database that is connected to their website where you store data of maybe people that have ordered that is country ordered other products in the things like that, the remaining stocks in the inventory, or everything being updated in the database. But data warehouse is used to store everything in the database historically. Do you understand? So we store it historically, like data from last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. We store them, for example, in data warehouse. You understand? So yeah, so this project basically is a car rental company where we have been asked to build, as a data engineer, to build a data warehouse using their data. So yeah, so quickly, this is a car rental company. They have been in existence since 2021, but have rented over 1,000 cars to more than 20,000 customers. They have requested a data engineer to move all their rental history to a data warehouse for easy analysis. You get, so that's one thing. Again, data warehouse helps us to make our data easily accessible, because now we are going to, I'm going to be mentioning some technologies. You won't know it if you are not a data engineer, or that's why it is better if you come in, then you are going to know everything. Because what I'm talking about is facts and dimensions table. Facts are basically quantitative data that is quantifiable, that is numbers, like costs, like price, like revenue, things like that, like things like that. Those are facts. Dimensions are basically descriptive data, things like maybe name, demographic data, name of our products, the items name, the product name, things like that. Those can be present in the dimensions table. So basically, what are we going to do here? What we did here is basically we have the data of this particular company. This is it. This is the sample data here. So they have this data where they have their renters name, renters email, renters phone, car models, cost, and all of that in their database. So what we are going to do now, we are going to be moving this into a data warehouse for them as a data engineer. So we are going to be leveraging version control, as it's stated here. We're going to be leveraging the version control because we want to be able to keep track of everything we are going to be doing, how we are going to be changing those whatever data, whatever model we model for them, whatever facts, whatever table, whatever database we model for them in the data warehouse, how we model their tables. We want to be able to keep track of everything we are doing. That's how we are going to leverage version control. So basically, we're going to be writing first and foremost, we are going to be creating the facts and dimensions table. Facts and dimensions table here now, basically, we're going to be grouping You see all these are the column names in this table. We are going to be grouping them, like I mentioned. I said facts are numerical data, that is quantitative data, and dimensions are descriptive data. So quickly, let me run through it here. If you look at this place, you are going to see renter's name, renter's email, phone number, car model, cost price. Like I mentioned, I said facts are quantitative data. So if you look at this place, the quantitative data we have here are things like the cost price, the car ratings. These are numbers, price per hour. Also to be noted, dates are also categorized as facts, because dates are also they are not categorized as dimensions. They're categorized as facts. They stay in our facts table. So quickly, let me share the solution to the fact and table quickly, so we can see that quickly in my. So we use draw.io to draw.io is a platform where where can you see my screen? Can you see
Yes,
my
yes,
screen?
we can. Yes. Yes, we can.
Okay. Yeah, so thank you. Draw.io is a platform. We have different platforms. We have Draw.io, we have it's not coming to my head now. We have a lot of it, about 4 or 5, where we can use to draw our facts and dimensions table. And this particular type of this is called a star schema. We have different type of schema. We have the star schema. We have the if I can remember, we have the snowflake schema. We have the galaxy schema. But basically, this is a star schema. How do I mean the star schema? If you can see, our facts is in the middle and our dimensions are surrounding it. So we say the star schema. In typical terms, we have the nucleus in biological terms, the nucleus, and we have the other branches. You understand? So it's a star schema in that sense. So basically, this is the facts table. So these things that you're looking at that is interconnecting, that is joining them, also has meaning. We call them cardinalities in dimension in creating our modeling. We call them cardinality. You have different kind of cardinality. We have one to one, one to many, many to one, many to many. So basically, it's just a way to describe how our tables are connected. And this basically is going to make querying our data is going to make data easily accessible for people like data analysts, data scientists, whether it is everyone that has been talking to this morning, is going to basically make data readily available for them and easily accessible, because what I am doing here is basically I'm grouping the data in such a way to make crude operations very, very easy. What are crude operations? Crude operations are create, read, update, and I think delete operations in the database. So basically, it's going to make all those operations easy. So, and who are those that are going to be making making those operations? Data analysts, data scientists, and all of that. So basically, this is our star schema for our facts and dimensions. I don't want to go into how we are going to be grouping everything. That's going to take a lot of our time. So basically, this is the first thing we did. We still have a lot of things we did. I'm going to be showing us also. So after we do this here, the next thing now is to create our SQL, to write our SQL query. Now let me show you. I'm going to be let me share my PG admin. That's my PostgreSQL quickly, where I wrote the SQL query for this particular data modeling. Can you see my screen right now?
Yes, we can. You can see it clearly.
Yeah, basically. So yeah, so this is where I wrote the SQL query that is going to actually create those schema that is going to actually create those tables in the database. So this SQL queries now that I have here, it is what is actually going to create all those tables that I designed in the that design is actually called, sorry I didn't mention that, it's called ERD. That is entity relationship diagram. That's the name of that diagram that I showed you guys now. So this SQL query is what is going to actually create those tables in the database, where we are now going to be inputting data and all of that. So basically, what we did here is to create the data, create the facts tables, rental table. We created everything. What you are seeing here, we created this not null means that this table, this particular column cannot take null values. That's what not null means. And anywhere you're not saying not null, it means that that particular table is allowed to take null values. These are basically data types. This integer you're looking at is a data type. Integer, data type. Date is a data type. Decimal is a data type for numbers. You understand? So these are the SQL queries that we use to create the table. This alter table, like I said, I mentioned that, okay, these are basically if you come in, you're going to learn things like data definition languages, data manipulation languages, data query languages. Those are under SQL. So basically, these are all data definition languages. They create, they alter, they delete, things like that. They are data definition languages. So yeah, so basically, that's what we are doing here. So let me give you to show you in this Postgre now. Let me show you. I showed you the ERD. Also in the Postgre, I can show you. You can generate the ERD diagram quickly. The ERD diagram that I showed you that I first developed, that I designed in draw.io. If you look at it, this is it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it showing now?
Yes, you can see it clearly.
Yeah. So after I wrote that query, that SQL query, I can easily generate the ERD automatically from here also. You understand? So to generate the ERD for me quickly, and you can see also this is what we have in what I showed earlier. Now, the next thing now, how do we now leverage version control? That we are done with here now. We are done with creating the ERD diagram and creating the SQL, the tables in the database. You understand? So now, how do we? The project asked us to leverage version control. Basically, so I said that version control is how we basically keep track historically of the things we are doing in the project we're actually working on. It could be anything. It could be this. It could be ETL. It could be the point where we are extracting data, transforming data, loading data. You understand? So it could be at that point, but we have to, we have to always come back. There have to be updates. That's the work of a data engineer. You have to monitor, you have to maintain, you have to create, you have to build. You understand? So that's the work of a data engineer. So basically, all those things you have to keep track of all those things. So that's how we leverage version control. So now I'm also going to be sharing VS Code with you now. Let me quickly share my VS Code application with you. So can you see my screen? Is it
yes,
I
can see your screen for you.
So this is my VS Code platform. VS Code is a platform, is an app where we basically used to write codes. It's like an ID, like an ID. We used to write codes. You can use it to write any kind of code. So here we use in data engineering, we use it for our Python codes. We also use it we can use it for our SQL also. We use to also do a lot of hands-on writing of codes and building from scratch and all of that. So basically, the first thing we do, I want to make use of JIT is to install our JIT system. That is the JIT that we're going to download. You're going to install it on your system, then you're going to integrate it into your VS Code. So we basically what we do after you have installed it is come here. You look at this place. I don't think is it showing. It's not showing my drop downs. I don't know why.
Yes, we can see.
Okay, it's showing.
We can see PowerShell, Git bash. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So once you click this Git bash, if you want to work with Git, once you have installed your Git, you click this Git bash. You come in here. Now we have several how do I put it now? Codes, several initializations that we can give to config to make use of Git. So the first thing what we want to then let me explain this first. We are trying to push this into a repository. It's in that repository that we'll be able to keep track of everything we are doing. I don't know. I know I'm making use of several terminologies.
Yes.
But I'm an engineer.
Confused.
Yeah, I'm an engineer. Point. So if you come in, these things I'm telling you now, I didn't know anything. I didn't know any of all of this. Yeah, I'm sounding like a professional now, like I'm one mighty engineer. No, I was built by 10Alytics. I understand. Do you understand? I was built within the time that I've been in 10Alytics, and personal study and the watch me do videos, the classes. that is what built me. You understand? And this is like just out of maybe 10 things that I know. This is just like maybe one or part of it. You
Amazing.
understand? So
Amazing.
basically,
Yeah.
yeah. So the initializations that we use now, JIT is GitHub. You have to open an account with GitHub. Once you open an, let me first and foremost share my GitHub this thing with you quickly. We look at that. I hope I'm not taking too much time. I'm trying as much as possible to rush through, but I know I will end at where I'm supposed to be. Let me quickly share my screen, my GitHub repository. So can you see now? Can you see my
Yes, you can.
yeah, so this is my GitHub repository. This is the this is we are going to create repositories. You are going to open a new if you want to create a repository, you click new repository. You are going to create the repository. Now this is the repository, the parental, where I push it into the parental. This is the parental project where I put data modeling,
Yes.
where I put it into. Now the first thing I do when I come in here is I'm going to click this place, and I copy this particular link. After I created my repository, this link is what I'm going to use to connect it with my. Now let's go back to. I just wanted to show you the interface of GitHub quickly. So let me go back to my VS Code. Let me go back to my VS Code. Yeah, so back in VS Code now. Is it up? Is it up? Is it up? Let's rush through. So yeah, so this is back to VS Code. Like I said, I click here, then click git bash. Then we click git init, which is we type git init, git init like this, git init
I'm
to
sure, I'm very
initialize
sure
our.
some persons will be overwhelmed. Like, what exactly? That this is
I
too
know,
much,
right?
but it's
Yeah.
amazing. It's
It's not,
amazing all you can
it's
learn.
not too much actually. So basically, we are going to initialize our JIT. So after we initialize our JIT, we also have the where we actually connect to the remote repository. That is the link I copied in my repository. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to click JIT config. Then I'm going to connect to my. Let me just rush through. Don't let me type so I can quickly move on. So I'm going to type JIT config also. To input my username, input my email to connect it to my remote repository. That is the repository GitHub. Now, after I do that, then I'm now going to push my particular project. We have stage 2, then we have commit. That commit is just actually a way to actually now denote every point where you make changes to your project. You're going to put a message. Once you write commit, then you type in a message. That message is to tell anybody that is looking through your project that, okay, this was what you did when you committed this project, when you launched this project. This was what you did. You type in the message, for example,
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
here I added it, for example, let me say here I added a new table to the database. You understand? So that's what that commit means. You can basically put in any message there to just make you show and tell. Keep that, like I mentioned earlier, keep that historical a record of what you are doing with your data. So that's the commit
Yes.
and all of that. So we also, like I said, we have several initializations, several prompts.
All
Yeah, let me
right.
put it that we prompt to make use of. So after I do all of that, then I now push every of these things. You see, this is where in this GitHub that you're looking at, in this VS Code that you're looking at now, this is where I actually now pushed all that I built. That's ERD, the SQL. If you look at this place, you will see this is the SQL script that I wrote in my PG, like that I showed you in the what they call it,
Postgre
Postgre,
and
in my
George
PostgreSQL.
okay.
Yes, exactly. This is the SQL query that I wrote. Now, this is the ERD diagram also that I built in the draw.io that I showed you. You understand? So this README is, you will see it when you create your repo. I told you that you create a repository. This README, you are going to add it in that
Yes.
repository.
Yes.
When you
Yes.
create that repository, it will be added for you. So it's just to write a description of what your project is about. You can use it to just write about your
Yes.
project. So people that are looking at your repository in your portfolio can actually see what you're doing quickly and read
All
through
right.
quickly. Like you see what I wrote here, data warehouse modeling for a car rental company. So basically, yeah, the things we do with JIT, we push, we pull, what does push mean? Push means we are pushing all of this that you are looking at here. We are pushing everything into our repository. Pull means we are pulling everything in our repository into our local system. So as everything is here, I can push everything into my my repository that I created. You understand? I can push everything into that place, and I can also pull everything back into my local system without lifting, without coming to click download this, download that, download. So basically, that is version control. You understand? So yeah, so basically that's the version control.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So thank you
So
so much, Rashid. I'll have to, let's say, cut you short at this point because
no
I
problem,
feel
no
if I
problem.
give you the time, you go over and over, and you are very detailed. That's the thing. That's the thing.
You.
So this is
Thank
amazing what you've been able to do. So what I would say lastly, what recommendation would you give to anyone looking to join this program?
Okay, quickly. My recommendation is that you see, you just have to love what you're doing, and most importantly, once you have a platform like 10Alytics, see, if I tell you what I studied agricultural economics. I get it. Agricultural economics. But when I finished school, then I knew that, come on, this is not something, I don't want to come out of school to become a farm manager or become a farm owner. No, I wanted to be something more. I knew I had something more within me, and I needed I needed to be something more. Anyways, I have background in some other because I transitioned into software engineering, did data analysis and all of that. So, but when I coming into data analysis and I wanted to upskill, I thought of it and like, okay, what can I do? Data engineering. I saw data engineering and I said, okay, this is like the best for me because one, I needed something to push me, something to actually make me go through that learning curve that is going to stretch me. I'm a sucker for knowledge, and I really love, and 10Alytics has been, oh God, the what's the name? How do I put it down? What do we call it? What's the name of this person? The person that takes us now. What do we use? What's the English?
Facilitator.
The facilitator. God bless you. The facilitator. Timmy, God. She's loaded. When I mean someone is loaded, she's loaded. And it's been wonderful. So don't even think about it. Go for it. Pick what you want to do and go for it. Pick whether it's data engineering, data analytics, data. Look at it. Analytics will provide you with everything you are going to be doing even before you go into it. So if you look at it and feel this thing will work for you, this thing works for you, go for it and come knowing that you are going to get it. Whether Analytics, see the blend, the way they blend, whether you are coming in new and you don't know anything. I came in as thinking I knew something. And when I got in, I didn't know anything because the way it came from a different angle. Like I'm just learning from scratch, from 0 to 100. So right now, I've not even gotten to the middle of my program. I've not, for example, I've not done ETL, we have not done AWS, and it's part of our program. That is cloud engineering. It's also part of our program. I've not done all of that, but I'm ready for it, and I know that in fact, let me mention one particular thing again. This particular project, I pushed it on my I posted it on my LinkedIn. You understand? And 10Alytics reposted it, and it got a bit of traction. And also, the LinkedIn optimization that we have been doing in 10Alytics. I've optimized my LinkedIn, and my LinkedIn is optimized. And I got a message from a recruiter about 3-4 days ago. You understand? And they scheduled a 30 minutes meeting with me for either Monday or Friday or so. I've forgotten. You understand? For a meeting to chat, to discuss. So the prospects is too much. What you should expect for yourself is too much because the program is project based. You're not even going to be looking like someone that is just doing this thing. You will look like someone that has. You might even know more than someone that has 3-5 years experience because you are building projects. Look at these projects. It's just one of several projects. I've built projects on SQL, built projects on several other programs, Python, everything. We have this, everything is there and is loaded. And we have not even started. So let me just stop there. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rashid, for taking our time to join us this evening. Thank you for your amazing presentation. Thank you for your words of advice. All right, so we have one last participant from the data science program. So, hi, Randy, how are you doing this evening?
Yeah, hello, Brahma.
Yeah, it has been a while. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. It has been a long while.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so my name is Randy, and I'm a graduate from the data science group. Okay, so this evening I want to talk about what I've learned as a data scientist for the past, I think, 4 months. And my journey has been amazing. I'm coming from an accounting background. So I've been working as an accountant for almost 2 years. And I knew nothing about coding. I knew nothing about, okay, though I've been using Excel in my work, I didn't know much about Excel. I knew nothing about SQL, but with this program, now I can put in some code. I can put in some code to understand data. I can put in some code to even develop prediction models. So I'm really grateful for what I've learned with analytics. What I want to share this evening is a project I took. I'm sharing my screen, please.
Yeah, go on. Okay, yes, we can see your screen now.
You can see the screen, okay. So I would try and alternate between my Jupyter notebook and a PowerPoint presentation I did. So this project is on customer churn prediction. So most of the time, every business might have a problem, business have problem, and those problems are supposed to be solved. I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So in this project, what we set out to do is that we set out to try and help Connector. Connector is a telecommunication company, and it's having a problem. The problem is that most of its customers are leaving, they are churning out. So in this project, what we set out to do, we want to develop a system that we're able to predict that this and that customer is going to leave. So, and if you know that your customers are likely to leave, then you can put in mechanics or mechanisms to retain them. And also, we wanted to know that apart from putting the mechanism, we want to understand our customers, their needs and everything. So those are some of the things we wanted to understand from this project. And one thing I think I've learned from analytics and through my mind, what that I've come to know is that more at a time, for data scientists, we want to develop models or prediction models that will help us predict the customer churn. But another thing is that you have to understand the problem at hand. And with the ED and a lot of things we did, I've come to appreciate what we've been doing. So my projects, what I did is that we went through a pipeline, went through a series of things. And from what I've learned from analytics now, I can use Python libraries. I understand Python libraries. I know how to deal with Python a lot of times. I can do many things. And apart from, I know beginning of the presentation, a lot of people are talking about the data analyst and the business analyst. They talk about understanding data and getting insights from data. But what you get as a data scientist is that you don't just understand the data, you get extra. Because if you understand the data, what solutions are you bringing? Because the business might have a problem and you're supposed to solve this problem. So if you understand the data, what solutions are you bringing out? And that's what data science do. So I'll go back to my Python for you to see this. Okay, so I know it's a lot of code here, but don't be scared from 10Alytics. And I think, Brahma, you took that masterclass on ChatGPT, and I learned a lot from it. So I use it as my magic tool. So listen, when I'm coding and I have issues, I can just go to ChatGPT and ask questions on my code and anything that's bothering me, and ChatGPT can give me those answers. So from this, a Jupyter notebook, sorry, for a Python project I did. And this is my churn prediction. I was predicting the churn of Connector. I went through a series of steps. I imported my libraries. And if you are, maybe you might not be familiar to Python now because you are prospects, you want to come into data science. And I believe that when you come in, you get to understand a lot of these things and you really appreciate it. I did import my data sets, which is the information a company has, because every business will gather data on their customers. And that data you gather on the customers, you have to use that data to understand your customers and also use that data to find the solutions to the problem the customers are having. So I imported my data sets. I did some analysis on them. So what our data analysts usually do, for data scientists, we also do the same thing. So I did analysis on them to understand my customers. One thing I got to know is that most of our customers were old, and this what this chart is showing, that most of our customers are old and most of them too are very new. We also have the income of our customers. You get to understand their income, you get to understand their gender distribution. Another thing too I got to know from these projects is that since you want to keep customer churn, then you have to know how many people among your customers, how many of your customers are churning out. So you have to get to know all of these things. And this is usually done by data analysts, but as a data scientist, you go the extra mile to do some of these things too. So through this analysis, I got to understand my customers. And from this, I was able to generate some insights. I'll go back to my PowerPoint, my PPT for you to see. So I was able to generate some insights. And from this insight, I got to know that we have a churn rate of about 26%. We are losing a revenue of over 133,000 every month. We have high churn among electronic check users. There are lots of insights you can generate by using Python or using a Jupyter notebook to analyze your data. And the next thing is that as a data analyst, the data analysts usually do, they will understand their data. But if you understand the data, you know that customers are churning out. What can you do about that? And that's when the data science work really kicks in. So the next thing I did in this project is that I did something we call machine learning. And machine learning is simply putting models that will help you understand your data and help you predict that this customer is going to leave. With my churn prediction, this customer is likely to leave. If you know that this customer is likely, then you can put in the necessary mechanisms to keep that person living. So in my machine learning, we have something we call data pre-processing. So data pre-processing, machine learning, one thing about machine learning is that it uses the models we have in machine learning understand numbers. So if maybe your data you have on your customers, not every data on your customers will be numbers. Some of them will be categories or words. Let me put it that way. So we have process you have to put. You have to go to put your data set or the data you have into numbers so that your models or your algorithms can easily learn. So these are some of the few things you go through. You have to segment your data. You have to scale your data. These are some of the few things. After that, we have something we call models. So for the models in machine learning, there are different models you can use to build. There are different algorithms. Sorry, there are different algorithms you can use to build your models. And in my project, I use these four main algorithms. I use an algorithm we call logistic regression. I use naive Bayes. I use random forest, and I use support vector machines. From this, and always, because you are using different models in your work, you want to understand which of the models will perform well, because in my situation, I wanted to predict that these customers are likely to leave. So if these customers are likely to leave, each and every model will have a certain level of performance. And from this, after building my model, I have to evaluate that which model is doing well and which model is not doing well. And in my work, I did this evaluation. When you see these charts here, this chart here is basically showing that for logistic regressions, give me a record score of 53, naive Bayes give me 74, random forest give me 45.99, and support vector is give me 46.88. And this is not the only evaluation metric. There are different evaluation metrics you get to learn if you undertake this data science program. So I did these different evaluations, and from my evaluations, I realized that though the models were doing well, but I can also improve upon the models. So I went ahead to do something we call hyperparameters tuning. And I wouldn't want to go into it because it becomes a bit technical, but your models, you can improve them. And there is something we call Great Search CV you can use to improve your models. And that's what I did. And when you go up here, you realize that at this place on my record score, naive Bayes was doing well. And my focus in this project is that if naive Bayes is doing well, then let me try and improve that naive Bayes model or algorithm to give me a better prediction model. So the next thing I did is that I tuned the naive Bayes, and upon tuning the naive Bayes, it was giving me a record score. It was giving me a record score of 78%. And this record score of 78%, I have to probably explain it a little bit. So what this record score is doing is that your model is predicting that. So sorry, I probably have to go back to the side. Okay, so this record score 78 is that, okay, you have your customers, and among these customers, some people are likely to leave, and some too are not going to leave at all. And the model I have built, or the model I built through the project, is saying that out of the customers that you have, 78% are likely to leave. So if you know that 78% are likely to leave, then you have to know how to handle those customers. That's what this report is trying to say. When you go up here, some of these models selected is basically because some of these models are telling me 53% are likely to leave, 45 are likely to, 45 are likely to, 46 are likely to leave. But 73 gives me a higher prediction score. Then that's why I settled for that one. And from this, after building the model and also generating insights, I was able to, from the insights, I was able to generate with initiatives, because like as a data scientist and doing the work of a data analyst in a way, to an extent, you have to always give solutions as well. So some of the solutions I brought up is that since most of the customers were on short-term contracts, because from my insights, I know I didn't go through everything, but from my insights, I got to realize that customers who were on month-on-month contracts are likely to leave. But customers who were on long-term contracts, like a year or two, are not leaving, or even their churn rate was very low. Then I advise, okay, then those customers should be tied. Most of the customers on the short-term contract should be tied to long-term contract. Also, customers who were using automatic payments methods are not likely to leave. So I got to know all of these things through the insights I generated. Then I made suggestions. So these are some of the things you do as a data scientist. And for the past 3 months, it's not just Python I learned, though I was new to all of these things. I know the previous speaker spoke about SQL. In the data science program, you learn about SQL as well. You learn about Excel and Tableau. And I will recommend, for me, initially I set out to do data analysis. But after reading about data science, I thought, okay, that one will give me something extra. That's why I settled for that one. And I've never regretted, because for now, I have been able to build different projects to predict a lot of things. Because when you go to healthcare system, for instance, if you want to predict that some of the patients are having issues with their disease, you cannot do all of these things with your prediction models or your algorithms. Hello, Brima.
Hi, Randy. I'm here.
Okay, I know I've spoken a lot. If you give me all the day, I have a lot to share. And because of time, myself, I want to.
Thank you so much for sharing. That was really fantastic. But with everything that you said, Randy, when did you start your program?
Okay, I started in March.
March, and this is
I think
just August.
Late March or early April, one of these months.
Fantastic. So I wanted to reiterate the fact that you don't have to stay for as long as a year or 2 years before you can become a data scientist. Thank you so much for sharing, Randy. We'll see you around. Thank you for coming. All right, bye. Okay, so someone is saying 10:31 already. I'm just going to rush through the other programs that we have, and then we can round up in a couple of minutes. Okay, so speaking of HR analytics, the role of a HR analyst is to analyze human resources data to support workforce planning, talent management, and employee management. All right. So an HR analyst is basically somebody that's going to be analyzing data, but in the HR field. Now, what are the key learning areas for the HR analyst? You're going to be learning problem solving, where you're going to be learning how to identify problems in the HR field in your company, and then how you can solve this problem as a subject matter expert, being that you have the knowledge of HR added to analytics, making HR analytics. Then we have Excel as well. You're going to be learning how to use Excel to build dashboards, interactive dashboards, and so on and so forth. You'll be learning how to use Power BI as well to analyze data, SQL, HR analytics, and performance evaluation. You're going to be learning HR metrics and life cycle. You're going to be learning HR analysis and dashboarding, moving into collaboration and report automation. Basically, a lot about HR and analytics. Also, how to use ChatGPT for analytics. Now, in the United Kingdom, what is the average salary of an HR analyst? You're going to be earning £30,500. In Canadian dollars, that is 71,230, and in the US dollars, that is 62,000 US dollars. And you can also become an HR analyst in 4 months. That comprises of 3 months of learning and 1 month of internship Moving forward, we have the data engineering program. Somebody has talked about the HR engineering program. The data engineer is responsible for designing, developing, and maintaining the data infrastructure of the organization. Basically, everything that Rashida said is what you're going to be learning in the data engineering program, involving data engineering, SQL, Python, Linux, version control, and so on and so forth. The average salary of a data engineer in the UK is £60,000. In Canada, it is 90,000 Canadian dollars. In the US, it is 114 United States dollars. You can become a data engineer in 4 months. 3 months of learning and 1 month of internship. Lastly, we have the data science program that Randy has talked about. Data scientist is someone who applies advanced analytics and machine learning techniques to derive meaningful insights. You're going to be doing basically predictive analytics. And what are the key learning areas? Statistics, forecasting and predictive analytics, Tableau for data analytics, SQL, Python programming, EDA, computer vision, machine learning, and so on and so forth. The average salary of a data scientist in the UK is £50,000. In Canada, that is 94,000 Canadian dollars. In US, that is $121. And you can become a data scientist in 4 months. Like Randy said, start in March and see what he has achieved in August. All right. Now, you have your learning roadmap where you have months of learning, 4 months of learning and internship. All your programs are virtual. You don't have to leave your house. Classes are on Saturdays and Sundays. Okay, on Saturdays we have live classes, and on Sundays we have self-paced watch me videos. And these are for programs like HR analytics, data science, but for business analysis, data engineering, and Power Platform engineering, you have Saturdays and Sundays for your live classes. Saturdays 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., Sundays 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. You also get to join recruitment arc sessions. That's sessions that comprise of the 50% that we have. So the technical part is 150%. Then we have another 50%, which comprises of sessions like CV review sessions, where we're going to be helping you, showing you how to build your CV, okay, to ensure that it attracts the right people to you. LinkedIn optimization, how to ensure that your LinkedIn is popping. It has to be popping, it has to look good, it has to be absolutely optimized for people to be, just like Rashid said, he was posting on LinkedIn and he was getting reached out to by recruiters. We have Upwork optimization for people that want to freelance. You don't want to work in you don't want to work under anybody, you just want to freelance. We have navigating job market sessions, so we teach you where to go to apply. We also offer recommendation letters. So if you've gotten a job and they've asked you to bring a recommendation letter, we offer that at 10Alytics. And we also have job and interview preparation sessions where we teach you what to say. I mean, not what to say, but I will prep you for future interviews that you might have. Meet some of your facilitators. We have Ifemina April, Brahma introduced me earlier, is the co-founder of 10Alytics. We have Adeza, is the founder of 10Alytics as well. They both reside in the UK. We have Nene, who is in the UK as well. She's a commercial analyst. We have Inina, who is also a product manager in the UK. We have Obina, Sheung, and so on and so forth. Now, this program, the programs that we've mentioned so far, they cost 600 Canadian dollars if you're paying in card, £400 if you're paying in pounds, and 320,000 Nigerian naira if you're paying in naira. These are the original prices, but we have something small for you. Okay, so for the program that will be starting 2nd of September, for early birds, the first 20 people you get to pay the discounted amount. Discounted amount, that is 500 Canadian dollars if you're paying in card, 270,000 naira if you're paying in naira, and 300 pounds if you're paying in pounds. This is for the data analytics, business analysis, data science, financial analytics, HR analytics, and power platform engineering program. For data engineering program, if you're paying in card, you're paying 600 card. If you're paying in naira, you're paying 350,000. If you're paying in pounds, you're paying 400. Another beautiful thing is that you get to pay in 2 installments, okay? So if you're paying on the first installment, you're paying 180,000 naira. If you're paying in naira, as you can see on my screen, you're paying 200 pounds if you're paying in pounds for the first 6 programs listed here. Then for data engineering, you're paying 250,000 in first installment, 300 pounds in pounds, and 450 Canadian dollars in Canadian dollars, okay? So this is the payment details. You can take a screenshot of it, the payment details. In cities, for people that are staying in Ghana, you can pay with we have the Paystack link. So my colleague has pasted the link in the chat. You can pick it up from there and pay using Paystack, okay? Right about now, we are rounding up, okay? So if you have questions for us, you can drop them in the chat or use the reason icon. I will call a couple of persons to ask their questions, okay? The discount ends on the 28th of August, 2023. So if you want to pay, now is the time to pay, all right? So do we have any questions? Anybody with questions? Okay. Okay, Elizabeth, I answered earlier. If you want to pay in cedis, you can use the Paystack link, and it will convert it to cedis for you. Automatically convert it for you. Okay, Oyedamola, do you have a question? Oyedamola, you have your hand raised. Do you have a question? Okay, so you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Okay, so can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so like, can we join anytime? Like, how is the classes, like, how is the program done? Is it done, like, do you accept candidates every month, or you have?
Yes, so we run programs every month at 10Alytics. We run this program every month at 10Alytics, okay? So you can always pay now to join later or join later. All right?
Okay.
I hope that answers your question.
Thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome.
So is there a way, would we can join? Is there how we can join? If we don't join now, we have to pay now. We have to pay later, then maybe there's a way they will reach out to us that, okay, we can join the classes or something. Or
yes.
what's it called? The WhatsApp link that we got the Zoom meeting link from. Is that how we get information about the classes and when to join and all of this?
Yes, exactly. So you can be on the lookout on the WhatsApp community. We'll send information regarding the classes to the WhatsApp community.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Yes, the sessions are fully recorded. All right, so I'm going to take you through our Google Classroom where we have the classes, the recordings for the classes.
I was trying to raise my hand. I didn't see the icon to raise my hand.
All right, please hold on. Let me quickly run through this. Okay, so these are the classes. You can see this is the business analysis class for the current August cohort, the cohort that started last month. I mean August this month. All right, so this is their class. You can see, let me take it from the beginning. You can see their first Excel class. Here we go. So we have watch media videos for them right here, and then we have the class recording. They add their live class, and then they had their live class, and then it was fully recorded. So all the classes are fully recorded. If you ever miss any class, you have the opportunity to go to the recording to check through. And of course, we have our communication channels where you can always ask your questions. So maybe you were not in class, or you're watching the recording later and a question pops in your head, you can always reach out to your facilitators, your trainers, your coordinators in your WhatsApp group, and they will attend to you. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. Okay, you can go ahead and ask your question. The person that unmuted now. Hello, you. Okay, Onyedi Kachuku.
Yes.
Okay.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. I attended the class on Sunday. I think it was on Sunday. And the same message, early beds and all that. So I attempted going in, and I'm just taking more, better observation. I'm looking at the prices listed, the different courses. Is it that the prices you have makes one better than another one? Because I've always been thinking of going for um, data science, but based on the data engineering course discussed today, I'm also looking at it. So I already, they said I think 270 to lock in, or so 180 to lock in. So I've done a bit of payment. So, but I chose data science. Is there any difference between the two? Anyone that one can advise this is better? Or is it that maybe when you start, the one you have affinity to? So I needed to know the choice I'll make finally. Thank you.
All right, thank you for your question. Okay, so there isn't one that is better than the other. There is absolutely no program that is better than the other. So like I said at the beginning, all our programs were carefully selected. Okay, so if you want to go for data engineering program, that is absolutely fantastic. If you want to go for the data science program, that is also absolutely fantastic. There isn't a particular program that is more than the other, right? So you've seen Randy, you've seen Rashid, they've come to explain their programs. It depends on your own interest. The fact that data engineering program is more expensive than the data science program does not mean that there is one that is better than the other. Okay, it's just based on interest and the market value. All right, I hope that answers your question.
Yes, I think it does. So maybe it does. Am I audible still?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
All right then. Thank you for
Bye.
coming. Bye. Admin. Hello, admin. You can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, clearly.
My question is, I have a background in accounting. So initially, my intention was to go for business analyst. But today, when everything was well explained and detailed, so I'm confused whether to go for business analysis or financial analysis. In your own opinion, which of these courses do you think will be a best fit for me?
Okay. Thank you for your question. So you said you have a background in accounting, but you've been planning to go for business analysis. After today's session, you're looking to change to financial analysis, right?
Yeah.
Now, are you looking to continue in the financial part based on your accounting background, or do you want to move into something entirely new?
I'm actually looking forward to transition into a new workspace, like something I've not done before. But
Okay.
I want to believe with financial analysts, since I have a background, it will come easy for me to understand and to flow along with the class. What do you think?
No. So yeah, you think it will come easy for you, which of course it will, but all our programs are tailored to cater to beginners. Okay, so if you're taking the business analysis program, despite the fact that you don't have any background in business analysis, if you take the program, we start from the scratch. So there isn't a particular program that you will not be able to flow with, right? We start from the scratch. We start from what is Excel. We start from what is business analysis. So regardless of if you have experience in accounting, you want to take financial analytics, or you don't have experience in business analysis, you want to take business analysis, we start from the scratch. So you're going to be able to flow with any program that you take.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. I hope that answers your question.
Of course. Thank you so much.
All right. So this is where we'll be stopping for today. Thank you so much to everybody that came out. We are looking forward to having you in class. All right. Okay. So we are going to be having clarity sessions, and we're also going to be having practical master classes coming up from Saturday. So please be on the lookout in the WhatsApp group. We'll be sending information concerning that to the WhatsApp group. But thank you very much, everyone, for coming. Ensure that you lock in your discount before 28th of August. And we look forward to seeing everyone in class. Have a very lovely evening. Bye, everyone. Fred, to get this information, to get the presentation, you'd have to fill the form. So I believe you filled the form. If you have, we'll definitely send it to you. Okay. So thank you for coming, everyone.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Thank you too.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the day. Bye, everyone.
You too. Bye.
Bye.